Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well. As you can see, we have some changes. Technology, fantastic thing. Got a background. There we go. We're standing on an alien planet doing weird stuff. So I hope you're all doing well this evening. Oh, Kookimon? Hey, Kookimon. Yes, still recovering from voice surgery, so I won't be doing live storytelling or anything like that for a couple weeks. But I have been seriously considering streaming my creation process. So look forward to that. But that'll only be once the surgery, the recovery is finished. It is chapter 182, and that is the end of book 1. Book 2 is currently being written, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. Hello all, welcome to the live stream. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. The algorithm is definitely a scary beast. You do not placate the algorithm, it will destroy you. But anyway. Hope you're well doing, Bill Sky, Amber Pelton, Rumi. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, coffee is anti-murder juice. Not many on the recovery. I play Last Epoch because it doesn't require as much attention as some other games, so I can goof around in the game and read chat at the same time. It is AI generated. If you type in space in the future, this is what you get. Well, one of the things. Most of the backgrounds that I use in my videos is space in the future. Same prompt every day. And keeps giving me different stuff. Or outer space in the future. Definitely the life and times. Yeah, so Last Epoch's pretty much the only game I played. I tried playing Project Zomboid the other night, but OBS was not having it. People have been telling me to do Helldivers. Helldivers 2, but unfortunately I do not install games with kernel level anti-cheat. So if I were to play games like that, I'd need a separate computer. I was listening to a Pirate Software short clip, whatever. And he explains how he handles the situation, which is a computer to play the game, and you import the video into another computer to stream from. So the computer you play the game on is just a bare-bones system. So if the kernel level anti-cheat is ever compromised, they don't get anything. So, Nightingale. No idea what that is. Let me look. Steam. Steam? Steam. You want to see something creepy? You want to see something very, very creepy. It's phenomenally creepy. Even creepier than me whispering into a microphone. Chat, you want to see something that'll blow your mind. So, to do this, yeah, so we're not seeing the green screen like before. I'm using NVIDIA Broadcast, which is an NVIDIA tool, it's kind of in the name, and I've got an AI background remover. So if I do this, you'll see that my fingers disappear. See, my fingers are coming in and disappearing. Because I'm moving them backwards and forwards. If I move far back enough, it would disappear. But that's not the creepy thing. Here's the creepy thing. So I'm looking at my screen. I'm going to take my glasses off for this one, because it doesn't like my glasses when I do this. So I'm looking at a very specific point on my screen, right? I tick this button, and I'm still looking at the exact same place on my screen. I haven't changed my eye position. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at my screen. The AI is changing where my eyes are looking. But there's a limit. If I turn my head, it'll stop. If I look down enough, and I can't see the eyes properly. Don't believe me? There you go. There's my normal eyes. There's me looking at the screen. Normal eyes, looking at the screen. And not only is it looking at the screen, it's doing so with intensity. Like it wants to stalk you. Artificial eyes. My God, I'm augmented. I thought that was a little creepy, so I turned it off. But it's pretty cool tech. Now I've got a smudge on my glasses. There's a greasy fingerprint on it too. So now we can do fantastic stuff. But you can see that if I raise my hand up quickly, it kind of... I was doing it earlier. There. So I've got a floating hand. It's because the microphone stands in the way. So how are we all doing? Oh wait, I was looking up again. I'm sorry, I distracted myself. It's kind of in the name though, so I can be forgiven, I think. Aggressive, but easily distracted. Yeah, it removes the background entirely, so this is not part of the focal shot, so it removes it. This is not green screen. This is AI background removal. You can use it on anything. You can use it on Zoom calls, anything like that. And then when my hand reaches a certain point, it just starts cutting out. But it's cool, because the green screen doesn't cover the back entirely, so it removes the parts that the green screen wasn't able to cover. So, that's cool. Good morning, Anthony. Hope you're doing well. I don't think it's freezing. Shouldn't freeze. Look, I might need to go back to green screen. It depends on the tech. I know I tried running this tech at one point when I started doing the face reveal, so that I'd make eye contact with the camera. But running too many things at once made it stutter. So hopefully that doesn't happen. CMDR, everything's doing well. Doing as well as I can be. Doing my exercises with my bottle that's going to disappear. My magic bottle. See? The voice, it escapes. My bottle of physiotherapy. I was looking for Nightingale, is what I was looking for. Nightingale. Nightingale is mixed reviews, and it is early access. So I probably wouldn't play it. I try to avoid early access games, and I still end up playing them, but I do try and avoid it. Multiplayer is another negative spot for me. I'm at this point in my life not looking for multiplayer. But I'm sure we can find another game to play if we want to play another game other than Last Epoch. Well, I mean, my green screen, because it's so far back to get the lighting right for the green screen, it doesn't cover the whole room. So I need to like zoom in. So when I had the big camera like this, you can see it all. You can even see the walls and stuff. So now this is just removing all that stuff. can still see the green here. My chair is black, but it struggles. There you go. So it struggles when you do this. And you've got little holes and stuff, and makes it green. So the green is showing through the back. And there it goes. Disappears. So, yeah, it's probably cheaper than green screen, but it's not crisp. You can see it's a bit blurry around the fingers. Not too bad, but there is a blur factor there, which you don't really get with a good green screen. Good evening, Ham Industries. Everything's going well. We're halfway to the finish line. Well, we're actually halfway to the starting line. Getting there as well as we can. Well, I mean, I'm looking at it in probably 4K, and we're downscaling it to 1080p, so maybe it just makes it fuzzy anyway. But to me, I can see that there's definitely an outline that shows that something is different. Just looks not quite right to me. Okay, Akuman. Bjork, yes, every day this voice is getting stronger and stronger. We started off barely able to do a 1 hour stream, and we've been cracking 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So definitely the stamina is there. The range is also pretty there.
I know. I'm afraid. Help me. I've lost my mummy. Help me.
So the range is definitely getting there. It's still breaking a bit in the high range there, but with a bit of practice, should be fine. We've got a nice child's voice growing there.
And I'm not growing too much.
So, I mean, stuff's happening. But it will take a while to settle all the voices, relearn the muscle memory for most of them. So, for a while, the voices might sound a bit off. Good evening, Kandario. Hope you're well. I have not played Baldur's Gate 3, RJ. Fair enough, Bjork. I mean, if they do make a single-player mode, then I might have a look at it. N-E-U. This kind of looks like the old, what was it? Dungeon Keeper. Interesting. Although they seem to have released a crappy patch that has pissed off a lot of people. It's got mixed reviews. Going with the sci-fi theme. Trying our best. I'm glad you're enjoying the older videos, Bjork. What are we looking at? Nation Red. Yeah, this looks like a bullet hell game. Interesting. The problem with playing new games and stuff is I'm not going to play them well. Let's be honest, I'm streaming. So I'm streaming playing a game. So it's not as good as playing a game. It's just me being entertaining while playing a game. So I could never give it 100% while streaming. Because I'm going to pay attention to you guys. That's why we're here. So I don't know about... I mean, I might try it. I'll add it to my cart. Maybe we'll try it at some point. Whereas ARPGs, you can just kind of get a build that you can just do stuff. But more importantly, talk and chat, and read chat while you're playing it. See, I'm not a professional streamer, so I can't do this with like complicated games. I can barely do it with focusing on chat. Good afternoon, evening, Rogue Minion. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're getting some of the backlog there, Kandaria. Creeper World is not a easy game. I do own it, and I have beaten it. But I wouldn't say that it's not something you don't have to concentrate on. Maybe I'm just not very good at that type of game. Good evening, Matthias. Norwicki. If I mispronounced your name, I do apologize. Yeah, I went on a binge and finished all of them. It was a couple of months ago. Not a problem with Grin 87. Not a problem. Yeah, I would rather walk on Legos than play Minecraft modded on stream. Nothing against the people that do that, but it's not something I want to do. I want to shoot people in the head. I want to commit mass murder, possibly even genocide, depending, of course, on the game. What do we have? Anything interesting today? Any new releases? XCOM. Haven't played that in a very long time. We have this looks like a tower defense game. Mostly negative. I'm going to ignore that one. Borderlands. Football. Monster Hunter. Helldivers. Fair enough. Katini. I have playing Minecraft is one thing. Streaming Minecraft is a completely different thing. Or making YouTube videos on them. I did a YouTube series on Minecraft. I think it might still be on the second channel. It was Grumpy Old Grandpa Plays Minecraft. So I mentioned a grumpy old man playing Minecraft. Oh, what am I supposed to do with these bricks? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god. Why are you making me make this video? Damned grandkids. So basically it was Granddad's first play at Minecraft. I think it's on the second channel. I can't remember. Lots of swearing, just by the way. Tons of swearing. Good evening, Zombie Kebab. We should be getting there soon. Glad you're enjoying the content, and it's my pleasure. Alright. New games, new games. Top sellers. Apex, not playing. PUBG, not playing. Helldivers, not playing. I've heard Dragon's Dogma is dog shit. Mr. Dark Hunter, I'm doing as well as can be. Hope you're doing well. Final Fantasy, Outpost Infinity. I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Dalek Hunter. Supermarket Simulator? Shall we play some Supermarket Simulator? I can pretend to have a real job instead of streaming. I can sit here and pretend that I sell groceries. And that would be very meta. I think these simulator games are getting a bit ridiculous at this point. Skyrim has a 10-minute cutscene at the beginning of the game that you can't skip. I've played 5 minutes of Skyrim and then gave up because I hate cutscenes that I can't skip. I will never play that game. I say that. I had played it for about an hour. But that was when it first came out, so there weren't mods to fix it. And I had to sit through a 10-minute cutscene that I couldn't skip, so I was pissed going into it. So, yes. War Thunder. Shall we play some War Thunder? Maybe I can get a sponsorship. They like to sponsor everybody. Off stream, anything pretty much. On stream, preferably something that's not going to take up my entire attention. That may be the case, Katini, but I hate cutscenes. I hate cutscenes that I can't skip. I cannot describe to you how much I hate cutscenes that I can't skip. I'd rather sit and watch a loading screen than watch a cutscene that I can't skip. So my normal requirements is single player, and I need to be able to pause the game. I need to be able to skip the cutscenes, and I need to just play the game. I don't need to be hand-holding. I don't need cutscenes. I just want to do the thing. Good evening, Shadow Dragon. I hope you're doing well. And we're just chilling and chatting, trying to figure out what I'm going to play. People seem to be bored of Last Epoch. I don't blame them. What we got here? I was thinking War Thunder, so I can milk some money out of War Thunder's. Get a sponsorship. Actually, I won't play it. I'll play it if they pay me money. I'll play the living hell out of it if they pay me money. I think that's where my hatred for cutscenes that I can't skip comes from, is from Final Fantasy. I love all these recommendations. Let's see. 7 Days to Die. Yes, I have played it. I own it. I haven't played it in a while. coffee. See, it just materializes into my hand. A full cup. It's the best technology ever. I played Prison Architect. It's okay. It was like what's the other game? RimWorld. The only reason I didn't like RimWorld is when I started playing it. It was again, it was quite early in the development cycle. But you could only ever do one tile. You couldn't like expand and take over the world. So that was that. I played lots of MMOs back in the day, but at this point in my life, nah, I've had enough. Maybe sometime in the future, but right now, just chill and play by myself. Not with myself, just by myself. CJ83, yep, we're definitely getting there. I'm glad you're enjoying the older content, but we will be back as soon as we can. Let's move this down a bit. There we go. So now get out of the gamer posture. Right, so we've got 7 days to die as a possibility. Don't Starve, I played, but I didn't really enjoy. Itchy nose. Where were we? So there is a game called... This is going to be... Single player, no cutscenes, straight into the action. No story rich, because I don't care. I know that's bad to say, I'm a narrator and stuff, but if I really want to get into a story, I will. I'll read a book. I'll read all the books about a game. But when I play a game, I want to play a game. No, it's not a neck. It's the moustache. It curls up. So it tickles the nose. Sometimes the nose hairs fight with the moustache hairs. Okay, so we've got a deck builder card game called Balatro, where you play illegal poker hands, discover game-changing jokers, and trigger adrenaline-pumping, outrageous combos. So, it's a deck-building roguelike about poker. Good to see you too, Snisha302. I have played Frostpunk for a little while. Right, that's this here. Yeah, let's fix this here. It's called the AI isn't liking my headphones. Here you go, AI. You can stop panicking, little AI. I did play Frostpunk, and I can't remember why I stopped playing it. I have played Endless Dungeon. I have played Endless Dungeon. Again, can't remember why I stopped. Okay, so we've got the card game. We've got the one other game. Let's see what else we've got here. War Thunder, if they pay me. The other thing that needs to be is that doesn't need to be intense. I need to be able to pay attention to you guys. I don't want to ignore you. But, you know, I will if I have to play a game well. And then let's see. Wallpaper Engine is one of the top sellers. That sounds like a fun game. Shotgun roulette. I've seen it. I haven't played it. We can do that. Shotgun roulette. Shotgun roulette. If I could spell roulette, then we could do it. Roulette. Roulette. That's how I spelled it. Ah, there we go. I doubt that Shotgun Roulette is a PG-13 game. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's not even released yet. It gets released on April 4th. May the 4th be with you. Unless there's something I'm not seeing, it's not released to the public yet. On Steam, at least. It's, what's it today? 27th, so, what's that? Next week, Thursday, is when it gets released. Yeah, I played Starfield for a little bit on the stream once. Okay, it was whatever. I did see the Command & Conquer was released. Haven't played those games since the first one. Been a long time. This is going to be an entire stream of everybody screaming games at me. Me responding whether I've played them or not. Yeah, I don't feel like dealing with chunky mechanics from the original Command & Conquer. Like playing Warcraft 1. I'd rather not. The finals? That is multiplayer. Where were we on this list? Battlefield, Days Gone, Tekken, Inscription, Euro Truck Simulator. I can pretend to be a truck driver. Thank you, Old But Not Dead. It's very much appreciated for the gifted memberships. I gotta get my terminology right. Just so everyone knows, the gifted memberships are randomly chosen. I do not choose. The person who gifted them does not choose. If you do get a membership, then just send a thank you to Old But Not Dead 1. It is very much appreciated, Old But Not Dead. I'm doing as well as can be. Every day stronger, every day better. Okay, I've got 2 games in my cart. What games are those? Let's see. So we've got Nation Red for a zombie killer, and then we've got Balatro. I think we'll go with those ones for now. No, let me have a look. Okay, back. Terminator Dark Fate Defiance. Did I actually make a good movie? Game? I don't really normally make good games off of movies. The gifted membership is a YouTube thing, so I do have channel memberships on the channel for support. And it works the same as gifted subscriptions on Twitch, but they've got different names for the same things. So on Twitch they call them subs or subscriptions, and on YouTube they call them memberships. I have no idea what they call it on Kick, and I seriously don't know if X even has it. No, you don't have to worry about gifting. It's fine. I've got this. Terminator Dark Fate. This looks like a squad-based... what are we looking at? Squad-based strategy, real-time. Might be interesting. Dungeon of... The Amulet of Darkness. Top-down fantasy. Okay. Cool, I'll add that to the cart. No. I haven't played many games on the Atari. No. Add it to cart, damn you. Continue shopping. Steam's being a pain. MechWarrior, the original MechWarrior, like was that Windows 95 MechWarrior? Or the DOS one? I can't remember. It was so far back. What are you doing? Okay. Fine. I'll purchase these two games first, and then I'll purchase that game. Okay, now is the test of my internet connection. We are downloading games at the same time I'm streaming. Now, in theory, they shouldn't affect each other. Because, you know, one's download, one's upload. But that's never stopped the computer from doing the wrong thing. And I remembered to turn off my alarm. I just did that right now. Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2. That sounds interesting. First, we're going with Dungeon. No! Type in the box. For the third time, Dungeon of N. There we go. Add to cart. Well, we could download one game while the stream was going, so that's a good thing. It proves that it can happen. We have the technology. Yes, yes. Have they done a new version of Dungeon Keeper? Okay, so Dungeon of N doesn't want to add to my cart. For some reason. Let me try another game. Dungeon Keeper. Dungeon Keeper Gold. Sure. Oh, good. You can now play Dungeon Keeper if you have the EA monthly subscription, which I'd rather gouge my own eye out than get the EA monthly subscription and play a game for free. Okay, so Dungeon of Nehel is not adding to my cart for some reason, so I can't play it. It seems to be a bit of a bug with that particular game. Okay, Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2, well, 2 specifically, is PG-18. I would never have guessed that. So we won't be playing that one on stream. Let's have a look at the games I did download. I think we'll play the... Okay, I don't like it. Nation Red just changed the... Excuse me. It changed the resolution of both my screens. So now nothing lines up. Shh. Hold on, give me a second. Nope. And then I exit out and it moves everything around again. So, not happy with that. Let me just check something. I learned my lesson with Pacific Drive, and when I got a strike because of the music inside the game. Right, let me just Google. And does Dungeon, what was it called? Nation Red. Game have copyright music. I have no idea. I'm just going to turn the music off. How's that sound? I'm going to hit this button over here. The background music's going to disappear, and I'm going to start the game and turn the music off. Like a professional. We're learning, chat. We're learning. Not fast, by any means, but we are learning. Okay. Nation Red. I have heard of Graveyard Keeper. I did play it for a little bit. Okay, sorry. The music was so loud, it was deafening me. So there is another strike against Nation Red is I can't click to change the volume. I have to use the arrow keys, and I can't just hold down the arrow key. I just have to keep clicking arrow keys to change the volumes of stuff. So that's not great. Okay. And video off. Save. Okay. What a very strange resolution it was running at. 2000 by something. And I can't click out of the screen. So we're not going to play this. I can't even Alt-Tab. No, okay, kind of Alt-Tab. Technical difficulties. Chat, technical difficulties. There we go. I think it's turned off the music from my... Good. So yeah, normally to get out of a game so that you can click on another screen, you just hit the Windows button. This thing doesn't like that. I need to physically Alt-Tab and then actually tab to another screen. So that's not great. Right. But the background music is now gone because I closed the window. I got confused. Oh, everything wants to blow out my eardrums today. There we go. Now we should have nice, cool, calm, oh, itchy nose, music again. Maybe just a touch louder. No, South Africa, so maybe it's related to South Africa. Every time I clicked on add to cart, it would just take me to the cart, but it wouldn't add the game. Could be because I'm running two. I've got a quite a large monitor, so it normally runs in the 3000 range. But 2560 by 1440 is very odd. So that's not even the max resolution of my monitor. That's just... Okay. So I don't know where I got the number from. Now, let's see if we can... I think we got this. Do we have this? Take the image out. There we go. It doesn't even fit on the screen. That's how weird the resolution is. Give me a second. Okay. Probably want 1920 by 1200. Probably be closest. Come on, technology. Even that. What do we want? Quick, someone, do tech work for me. What resolution do I want? 1440 sounds good. 1440 looks like not good. And my moustache is seriously out to kill me today. Well, not kill me. Tickle me to death. Tickle monster. You. There we go. Got the resolution right. Now I'll pop my little head in there. Hello. There we go. I'm in the bottom there. Hello. No, it's all good. It's weird that a modern game is struggling because of multiple monitors, but I know old games used to do that. If you had two monitors, it would... don't worry about it. I can't read your name. Silver Horn. Silver Thorn. That blue just does not sit with the blue background of OPS. Yeah. Silverthorn 5, there we go, for highlighted. I will change my VPN and try again later. I'd rather not battle with it on stream. We need some action. Maybe, I don't know. Let me try one more time. Let's go back to the big me. Go with the little me. There we go. There's two of us in this room. I'll try one more time. Dungeon of Nah. Nah. Because normally if it doesn't sell it to me because of the country, it would just not give you the option to add it to cart. Good evening, James Savick. I'm doing well. We're getting there every day. What do we got? Let me just... Maybe. Let me check my library. Maybe. I'm a dumbass. No, I'm not a dumbass. Well, I am a dumbass, but not in this particular case. I thought maybe I had it in my Steam. I already owned it, which is not the case. Sin cringe. It's all good. We're here for another hour, maybe two. Gonna try break the 3-hour barrier. I think the voice is doing quite well tonight. I think once we get up to a 5-hour stream, then I can start with my voice work. Maybe. Here we go. It is now adding it to my cart. Right. Fair enough, James. I can understand that. I've bought Dungeon of... Thank you, Sin Cringe, for the kind words. But gotta start working again at some point. Can't sit on my ass all day and do nothing. Chomping painkillers and playing Project Zomboid. That's pretty much what I did for the first week. Second week was just playing Project Zomboid. And then pitter-pattering around the house and annoying my wife. So, you know, usual stuff. But it's good. It's getting there. I mean, it's still a bit achy. But that's from the physio. It's what the physio is supposed to do. Good evening, Mark Smith. I hope you're doing well. I am doing as well as can be. Getting there. Physio's working, doing its thing, giving me range, pushing my poor little vocal cords to their max. That was Dungeon Keeper. Is now downloaded. And it is busy downloading Dungeon of Nihilbirk. Nihilbirk? No, not even a little bit. Anybody who listens to my channel will know that any language that isn't English, I butcher. I barely, and even some of the English language, I butcher. Hey, I mean, there is still narrator. There's Ren, still active, and Emily. I don't want to get her name wrong. I really don't want to do that. I think it's Amy. Why are you suddenly making typing noises, computer? I don't like that. Amy, yes, it was Amy. Ha! Amy's literary empire is also a person, as far as I know. Plenty of channels doing stuff and things. But I will be back as soon as I can. Alright, Dungeon... Oh, it's 10 gig download. Oh. We've got 12 minutes. 13 minutes. Until that downloads. Okay. Let's... this game... cool. In the meantime, we will play this game. So go back to small me. Shrink. There I am.
Just a little bit smaller. Help. Help.
And we have the murder zombie game. But I have bought Dungeons of and I am downloading it. I have no excuse other than I'm not very linguistically talented for other languages. My brain kind of just turns off. I went to school in a time where Afrikaans was mandated legally. Everybody had to learn how to speak Afrikaans. I managed to get to matric, which is the senior year, and not be able to speak Afrikaans. I just barely passed it. So my utter defiance of languages is truly, truly impressive. For the algorithm, I am going to take a quick bathroom break before we do all of this. I shall leave you with my starting soon image, which I think the dapper squirrel is quite good. I'll be right back in a couple minutes. Unless you guys want to look at my chair. I think my chair would disappear if I stand up. Anyway, be right back. All right, we're back. Dapper Squirrel, you've done your job. You can go back. Here we go. Right. Not sure we'll play Free Prey. Sure, start. Okay. Okay. Right. you would have noticed that I cut off the background music there because when I changed the volume for the background music and for the sound effects, it didn't listen. So that was playing at max volume in my ears. I also couldn't move my character. So something seems to be weird something weird seems to be happening there. So we will big me, little me, image. So that's game's no-go for now. I'll need to figure out what's going on there. So the controls weren't working. Caliban, the healing's doing well. We're getting there. Probably a couple weeks and we'll be back. I will be back. I keep saying we when I talk about the channel because it's me and the wife, but the wife's not sick. I am. She might be sick and tired of me, but that's a completely different thing. Okay, music. Game. Right, let's try this again. Good evening, Serial Wombat. Hope you're doing well. Right, what are we playing? I need to change this to that. And then we can... There we go. It's even the right size. And I can move. But I am going to have to probably change my settings on the streams. My mouse is gone. There's my mouse. Yeah, I'll just fiddle with them off stream so I don't blow everybody's eardrums. So this was the other game I bought, and then we have the other download. Let me check. It is not finished. We still have 50% to go. So it is chugging along in the background. Should be another 5 minutes. Right. So, in YouTube, I need to change the game I'm playing from entertainment to game. And we are playing Balatro. And then in Twitch, I'm going to edit the stream. Twitch. And we are going to be playing Balatro. Nope, not that one. They get a bit iffy if you play the wrong game in the wrong category. So we're doing this live. Live, I tell you. Live. That looks like the right game. Done. Right. Exciting things. We've changed settings. 5 minutes until Dungeon of downloads. And there we go. We are back. Give me a mouse. There we go. Play. Play. Okay.
Hello there, my name is Jimbo. I'm here to help you learn to play.
Okay. My cursor is still gone. Which makes... Next.
Your goal is to learn chips to defeat. Your goal is to earn chips to defeat the enemy blind. This here is a small blind.
It says small blind, so I would never have guessed that.
You only need to score 300 chips to beat it.
No cursor. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. You can see my cursor. I can't see my cursor, but I can see the screen. But you... Okay. Now, are we working? Why are we being ridiculous, stream? Okay. I think we're all on the same page. My cursor is back. Is my cursor back? No, my cursor is not back. Let's go to settings. Okay, settings. Video. Windowed. Apply. There we go. Okay. Okay. We're all on the same page now? We can all see my cursor? There we go. Right. Right. And then little me. Hello. Okay. And then my hand, this hand, can go all the way over here now to point to the thing. Look, I can point at the thing. Anyway. My hand looks abnormally big there. Right, we're running in windowed mode, because apparently full screen is too complicated.
Select the small blind to start the round.
Okay.
You earn chips by playing poker hands.
Right. What? I don't know. It seemed weird. Weird's good, I suppose. We're learning together, chat. We're learning together.
Each poker hand earns the base amount of chips multiplied by the mult.
Is that coming through my... See your poker hands in the run info area, along with the other info. Okay, run info. Poker hands. Okay. Okay, it's not. Sounded like it was coming from my speakers for a moment there. That's why I pulled out my headphone. Yeah. Just a deck building roguelike about poker. That just sounds odd.
Cards also earn you some chips. Hover over to see.
Okay. Yes. This is not complicated, so you earn the face value of the cards. Okay.
Now select up to 5 cards to play and press play hand.
What do we got here? Not much, really. I suppose that's what we got. Okay, so you only get the chips if it's part of an actual hand. Let me lower the voice of the thing. Okay.
You can select. You can also discard up to 5 selected cards to try and make even stronger hands. Try it.
Okay, we got an 8. We got a 7, 6, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Sure. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in your hand. So this is not 7 card stud. This just seems to be bullshit stud. Anyway.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, we'll go with the 3. No, oh, wait. We're choosing cards we want to discard. We'll discard 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure. I don't think I did that right. BS. I'm sorry. I've jumped to bullshit or battleships, and I've played plenty of bullshit in my life. I worked in corporate for a while, so that's always playing bullshit. And battleships I definitely played, but I don't think you're actually talking about either of those. Okay, limited amount to hands, limited amount to discards. Cool. Oh, yeah, we used to call it cheat. Well, yeah, I mean, as far as I know, BS, lies, and cheat is what we called it when I was in school. So I played that a lot.
Earn 300 chimps before you run out of hands to win this round. Good luck.
Okay. Well, we got 3-2. I suppose. Got 2 pair there. Look, I could be thinking of a different game, but cheat was basically, you know, do anything to win. You can cheat in any manner, but if you get caught, then you get more cards. Right. We just got those 4. We might get a something. King, Queen, Jack, Ace. You think 4 cards? Thank you, Penny Guns. I'm doing my best. We shall be back in business in a week or 2. And that's when TFAR starts again. And then maybe a couple weeks after that, when Voice is strong again, we're HARP gun. Really? Okay, how about this? Grey Ghost. I opened the... I did. For some reason, it's not open. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to read about the HARP gun now. I've been promising that I will. We'll put the poker on hold. And I'll read about the HARP gun. Because I did put it into my tab for later remembrance. But that didn't work. So, the HARP gun. Project HARP. There we go. Is that the correct one? This is atrociously white. Can we change this? Which source would you recommend, Grey Ghost, is the best place for the HARP gun? I've got Wikipedia. We've got Atlas Obscura. Project HARP Space Gun. We've got a brief history of the HARP project from Encyclopedia Astronautica. Which one would you recommend? Thank you, Squirrel Lords Gaming. We're definitely getting there. Itchy. Oh. Ah. Okay. Project HARP Space Gun. So, Silverhorn. Grey Ghost is in my chat. He has been asking me to look at this for weeks now. And I keep promising him that I will, with the full intention of doing it. And then I completely forget. Completely. Just destroyed. That goes away. So now we're going to learn about the HARP gun live. Let me see if we can do something here. Don't know whether anybody can see this. Probably need to zoom in a bit. There we go. Is this the page you're talking about, Grey Ghost? We changed the stream quite dramatically there. Gregory, not so much. I mean, I try to avoid having too much caffeine after 5 o'clock. One of those things. Mainly because it interacts very badly with my sleeping pill. Just in an odd way. I'm a lifelong insomniac, so I just need to be have a heartbeat to struggle sleeping. Alright, a brief history of the HARP project. Brought to you by the Grey Ghost. It is said that Jules Verne chose a supergun for his story because he didn't think that anyone would believe that a rocket can actually take people to the moon. For years, gun propulsion was considered the only practical means of launching a vehicle into space, as rockets were still relatively small and crude gun-powered devices. By the 1930s, the first liquid propellant rocket began appearing, and gun propulsion was soon abandoned as a means of space launching. Well, my thumbnail on YouTube is me chewing on a cup of coffee. Well, a coffee cup. The High Altitude Research Program, HARP, was unique in the history of the space age. For the first time in history, a serious attempt was made to use cannons in place of rockets to explore Earth's upper atmosphere and to try launch satellites. The story of the HARP program is a long and interesting one that has already been detailed in several excellent books. This work is intended only as a brief history of the HARP program that hopefully will allow the reader a deeper understanding of the personalities and events that affected the project. Unfortunately, the scope of this work does not allow full credit to be given to each and every person that participated in HARP. Only major personalities can be covered. Well, thank you for the kind words, Amber Pelton. I am reading this like a story rather than like you would a non-fiction stuff. But that's my style, so I'm sticking to it. It's what I know. Pre-HARP years. The origins of the HARP can be found in the later half of the 1950s, when several related gun propulsion projects were conducted in Canada and the USA. The two notable centers of research at the time were the Canadian Armaments and Research Development Establishment, CARDI, Astrophysics Wing under Dr. Gary Bull, and the U.S. Army's Ballistic Research Laboratory, BRL, in Aberdeen, Maryland, under Dr. Charles Murphy. At CARDI, Bull worked on many aspects of aerodynamics and ballistics for both missile and gun propulsion systems. When no major government-authorized projects were in progress, Bull conducted many small projects related to ballistics and particularly high-velocity guns. Although much of Bull's work revolved around military development, he also worked on several different types of gun propulsion systems and on development of essential components, such as gun-launchable radio transmitters and electronics. It is interesting to note that at the time the U.S. had posted several officers at CARDI not only to coordinate efforts with the Canadians, but also to keep close watch of the unique work that Bull was doing there. Ironically, Bull soon learned that although it was next to impossible to get money from his cash-strapped superiors for quick experiments, the U.S. officers had their own budget and would fund most any worthwhile endeavor. It was at Cardi that Bull developed his gun-launch satellite concept. He also gained an international reputation for his brilliant ballistic. He also gained an international reputation for his brilliant ballistics work. In the process, made many friends within the US military establishment that would serve him well in the coming years. Concurrently, the US Army's Ballistic Research Laboratory was also working on various gun propulsion systems. Of particular note were their efforts to develop a small gun-launchable high-altitude atmospheric probe. In the 1950s, there was substantial need for an inexpensive alternative to rockets for gathering information on the upper regions of the atmosphere that the new jet planes were approaching. I thought that the HARP project was a completely different project. It was a radio telescope project or something like that. High altitude radio telescopes, HARP, or something like that. Early BRL experiments with dart-shaped vehicles capable of ejecting radar-reflective chaff at high altitudes proved successful. This led... Do you want me to lower the music? Is the music a bit much? I think we can go with just a touch lower. I feel like I'm fighting against the music. We'll still have the chill beats. We're still... Just a little bit. Just a teeny bit lower. So I'm not fighting against them when I talk. This led to the development of the BRL 5-inch gun system, capable of lofting at 26 pounds. That's significant. That is a medium-sized dog or a small child. Many thoughts just occurred when I said small child. That could be a ride in the fair for angry parents to entertain their kids with. Anyway, subcaliber gun probe to an ultimate of 50 miles. That's a full stop. That should be a comma. Lofting a 26-pound subcaliber gun probe to an altitude of 50 miles. This gun system was used extensively during HARP 300 flights for atmospheric research and was the foundation for all future HARP gun systems. Bull and Murphy found that they shared many professional and personal traits and became fast friends. It was also during this time that Gary Bull's political problems began. Jerry. We'll go with Jerry. Mostly due to the childhood insecurities, Bull had difficulty separating criticism from his professional work from his personal attacks. He also had little patience for the ponderous bureaucracy above him, which he saw at best as wasteful and incompetent. This belief stemmed from the slow rate at which research proposals were handled by the bureaucracy, and the inefficient manner in which they were finally implemented. Bull was both vocal and tactless with this. He won a few friends by calling many officials cocktail scientists, along with other less polite names. The animosity this generated would haunt Bull for years to come. To Bull's credit, his opinion was shared by many others, including Murphy, who was amazed at the incompetence he found in the Cardi at the time. By the early 1960s, both the professional and scientific elements for a project such as HARP were in place. All that was needed was a catalyst to get things started. 1961. You guys want me to keep doing this? We can play games, we can do this. We're several paragraphs in. We're all learning about shooting satellites into space. I'm going to have a drink of go-go juice. Good evening, Herdo. Hope you're doing well. Right. Go juice. This is berry flavored. God, you see it. Magic. Berry-flavored juice with caffeine pull. I am not an addict. To be fair, this was mixed 2 hours ago. All right. Well, we will continue then. I have no idea how long this is. That is a Bon Aqua pump bottle. Still, not the sparkling one. I've got the other one here, which is just the caffeine pull, which looks like a bottle of piss. (1961). In early 1961, after a decade at Cardi, Gerald Bull resigned his position in frustration. It did not take long for word to spread that Bull was now a freelance consultant. Many employment officers, particularly from the USA, came his way. Coffee's not a problem. It's the caffeine. So caffeine doesn't work well with my sleeping pill. It causes, if I have caffeine too late and I take my sleeping pill, my throat dries out very, very badly, like painfully badly. And it would happen with any source of caffeine. So it doesn't matter where the caffeine comes from, coffee or tea, it would happen. So normally in the evening I just drink water. But like I said, these were prepared several hours ago and been sitting on my table. So it was okay to have caffeine several hours ago. But anyway, back to the story. Yeah, normally just water. Or water with some mixing cool drink. Sugar-free mixing cool drink. Been trying to do less of the sugar-free mixing cool drink recently. You know, it's pretty similar to Gatorade. So, I mean, this is just distilled water with caffeine pull. This is distilled water with caffeine pull and some berry mixing cool drink. A mixing drink. I don't know what it's called all the way around the world. Right. Many employment officers, particularly from the USA, came his way. But Bull, now with a wife and children, did not want to leave Canada. Over the past decade, he had developed strong family and community ties, and he was reluctant to leave the country. He was also convinced that Canada had the capabilities of becoming a great spacefaring nation, and that his supergun concept would be the means. Good evening, Philip. Yeah, we're just reading about the HARP gun. We're in 1961 now. Hey, history's a story. It just happens to be true. Most of the time. Early in the year, Bull was approached by Donald Modell, the Dean of Engineering at McGill University. As well as being a notable engineer in his own right, Modell shared Bull's dreams of a satellite gun. He wanted to join with Bull to make a dream a reality. On June 5th, 1961, at the age of 34, Gerald Bull became the youngest professor ever appointed by McGill University. This provided Bull with employment and gun research opportunities while the details of the supergun project were worked out. The HARP Odyssey had begun. Over the summer of 1961, Bull and Modell drew up plans for the HARP project, and Modell began to seek funding. The HARP plan was immediately turned down by Bull's opponents at the Canadian Defence Research Board. In August, Modell approached the Canadian Department of Defence Production, CDDP, for funding. Convinced the spin-offs from the HARP... Sorry, I had to burp there. Convinced the spin-offs from the HARP project would be more than pay for their investment, the CDDP made a verbal promise for a grant of $500,000, with the understanding that it would take at least 6 months to work through the red tape. Eager to begin at once, Modell and Bull approached McGill University's Board of Governors for a $200,000 advance to develop a gun range and set up initial operations based on the CDDP's assurances. And the pairs continued... and the pair's contagious enthusiasm, McGill agreed to the loan. The understanding was that they would be paid back in a few months when the government funding came in. All the pair needed now was a launch site. Initially, it was assumed that the HARP launch sites would be conveniently located in the wilds of northern Quebec near McGill, but Donald Waddell had another idea. The ultimate goal of the HARP project was the development of a satellite launcher. Therefore, a site close to the equator to take advantage of the extra velocity imparted on a satellite launcher by Earth's rotation would be far better. At the time, McGill University was supporting 2 research stations on the island of Barbados. Donald Waddell had the notion that this island would make an excellent location for the high-altitude flight range. Good evening, Bernard. Hope you're doing well. In the early 1960s, Barbados was still a relatively impoverished nation. They were more than happy to host a project with the potential of HARP. At 13 degrees north of the equator, Barbados was an excellent site for satellite launches. It also allowed for thousands of miles of downrange area over the Atlantic Ocean for safe impact of projectiles. In October of 1961, Gerald Bull traveled down to Baltimore, Maryland, to visit an old friend, Charles Murphy, then head to the U.S. This is not as well. This is a document explaining the HARP project, an actual project that took place. So this is a history lesson at the moment. So we're all learning together. Looks like it's quite a chunky document, but I'm sure we can take a good crack at it. Where was I? In October of 1961, Gerald Bull traveled down to Baltimore, Maryland, to visit his old friend Charles Murphy, then head off to the U.S. Army's Ballistic Research Laboratory, BRL. Murphy, like Bull, was an old artilleryman. A project with the potential of HARP was a soft sell. Murphy was so eager to join, in fact, that within days he had located and acquired for the project the largest artillery piece in the American arsenal, a 16-inch battleship gun, complete with land mount and surplus powder charges. BLR also contributed a heavy-duty crane to move the gun and $750,000 radar tracking system. It was promised that all of these items would be delivered as soon as the launch site was finalized. The U.S. Army's generous support was a much-needed boost for the HARP project, but their support was more than purely scientific. At the time, the U.S. Army was in a political battle with the U.S. Air Force over control of the new domain of space. After all, an Army rocket launch for the first U.S. satellite after the rockets of other services had failed, the U.S. Army was determined to capitalize on its successes. HARP was seen as a means of maintaining a hand in space defense research, while publicly declaring that they were only contributing to a major research project that was studying long-range artillery ballistics. In the end, the U.S. Army would lose out to the Air Force for control of space operations, and the ongoing political conflict would later prove the grave hindrance to the development of the Marlet 4 satellite launcher. Everything looking rosy, and the early development of the HARP facilities was proceeding smoothly. However, Bull's political enemies conspired to defeat HARP before it started. It began when the Department of Defense Production in Ottawa denied the $500,000 grant that they had verbally promised in the spring. The official reason given was that McGill was not an industrial concern. Had a private corporation applied, the grant would have been given. Memos and innuendo began to fly around Ottawa, claiming, amongst other things, that HARP would not open up any new possibilities whatsoever, or that it was no more than a public or that it was no more than a publicity stunt. Even though it was admitted that the theories were sound, it was claimed that HARP would never work in practice. One of the chief opponents of HARP was a man named J.L. Orr, who, at the time, was the Industrial Research Advisor to the Ministry of Industry. Mr. Orr proved that he was adept at applying all of the subtle penitence. Mr. Orr proved that he was adept at applying all the subtle pettiness of a democratic bureaucracy to undermine the HARP program at every possible opportunity. By manipulating the personal opponents of Bull and belittling the accomplishments of the HARP project, he was instrumental in denying Canada its first domestic satellite launching system. 1962. In March 1962, Mordell and Bull held a press conference officially announcing the HARP project. The presentation, including models of Bull's marlets. The presentation included models of Bull's marlets named for the bird on McGill University's crest. The media was suitably impressed. The HARP project was not as nearly advanced as the press. The HARP project was not as nearly advanced as the press was led to believe. However, the press conference had been held not just to introduce HARP to the world, but also to force a continuing commitment by McGill's upper echelons. With the media's attention focused on it and the support of the U.S. Army, the HARP project developed a momentum of its own. McGill University found they had no easy way out of the $200,000 advanced loan. To belay criticism of the project's funding, McGill University announced that HARP would not be financed by the university itself, but by contracts from governments and industries desiring to utilize this unique research facility. In practice, this simply meant the U.S. Army. In April, HARP began to process I would say martlets, but that doesn't sound right. I think it's a marlet. It's a bird. I could be wrong. This goes back to the earlier discussion of foreign languages and me butchering them. In April, HARP began the process of installing a big 16-inch gun. Did I read the other stuff? But yeah. In April, HARP began the process of installing the big 16-inch gun on the island of Barbados. A gun pit was dug into the island's coral base. A concrete emplacement was poured so that the barrel could be elevated to vertical. By May, the gun pit was ready and the big 16-inch gun was on its way to its new Caribbean home. As a further example of the U.S. Army's enthusiasm for the HARP project, they conducted the largest peacetime over-the-beach landing operation in history. The 16-inch gun barrels equipment were placed on a flatbed rail cars and then loaded onto a tank landing ship, the USS John D. Page. The rough coastline at the range site did not allow the gun barrels to be landed adjacent to the range. The Page... that's a name. The Page had to land the barrels about 7 kilometers down the beach. From there, they were transported to the gun site by laying a temporary railroad track and tractoring the rail cars along. With only 450 meters of track available, sections of the track were pulled up as soon as loads had passed and relayed to the front. Once at the site, the gun mountings and yoke were installed on the concrete emplacements, and the barrel was maneuvered into place. Installing the first barrel was a long and tiring process, with workmen and scientists alike putting a straining to a man. I have no idea what that word is. And straining to a man over the 40-ton gun barrel into its final position. By the end of the summer of 1962, the gun was in place, and the other facilities were nearing completion. Workshops, storage buildings, propellant magazines, telemetry and radar installations, and a multitude of other facilities were constructed. The Barbados launch site was beginning to take the form of a modern space launch complex. With the big 16-inch gun in position and the launch site facilities in place, the real work of the HARP program was set to begin. It was a fluke of history that the Cuban Missile Crisis occurred before hard-working crews of HARP could make their first test shot. The people of HARP, along with the rest of the world, held their collective breaths and waited to see if the world would once again go to war. This crisis could not have come at a worse time for HARP. It was obvious to anyone familiar with the installation on Barbados that the gun system could in no way be used as a weapon against Cuba. But in the event of a war, the Cubans and Soviets would surely consider it a danger. It would likely draw airstrikes. Fortunately, the crisis ended peacefully, and war was once again averted. Dog barking in the background. In 1963. In January, the HARP team was back at Barbados and ready for their first test flights. An initial test series of 12 launches was scheduled. It was hoped to break the current gun launch altitude record of 70 kilometers, set 2 years earlier by the BRL. As with many startup operations, this first test series was plagued with equipment problems. These included a leaking recoil mechanism, which delayed the first flight by some 6 hours. On the 20th of January 1963, the big gun roared for the first time as it fired its first test shot into the clear blue sky. This was the first time in history that a gun of this caliber had been fired at an angle of near vertical. From the cloud of flames and smoke, a 315-kilogram test lug was hurtled into the air. With a launch velocity of 1,000 meters per second and a flight time of about 58 seconds, the wooden slug rose to an altitude of 3,000 meters before coming down a kilometer offshore. On the 21st of January, the first Martlet 1 was launched. It flew for 145 seconds and achieved an altitude of 26 kilometers. On the 26th of January, a second test slug was flown. On the 1st of February, a second Martlet 1 reached an altitude of 27 kilometers. This was the first flight of the Martlet with a radio transmitter beacon that allowed the vehicle to be tracked throughout the flight. With these 4 successful flights, the first test series ended. The next series of test flights was conducted in early April using the new Martlet 2. The Martlet 2 vehicles performed well and upper atmosphere research with the 16-inch gun began. By the end of June, the new world's gun launched altitude record of 92 meters. By the end of June, a new world's gun launched altitude record of 92 kilometers had been set with the Martlet 2 by the big 16-inch Barbados gun. In 1963, also saw the development of the first gun-launched rockets. The Martlet 3A program began in spring of 1963. Test firings commenced in September, with launches proceeding to the end of the year. For further details on these entries on the Martlet 3A and Martlet 3B vehicles, I think it's supposed to be a link. But there's no link. Impressed by the HARP's initial result, the U.S. Army agreed to fund the project for $250,000 a year. By the end of the first year, some 20 Martlet 2 vehicles had been flown with an altitude of 80 kilometers being regularly achieved. A great deal of atmospheric information was obtained. Of greater value was the information that was obtained on the initial ballistics of the 16-inch gun and the flight performance of the Martlet 2, Martlet 3A, and 3B vehicles. 1964. Everybody still awake? We're paying attention? There's going to be a test at the end of this reading that I'm probably going to fail. Okay, as long as we're still awake. On all the counties or countries. I don't even know what I would react to with counties or countries. Gonna need to be a little bit more specific. Yes, coffee keeps a lot of people alive. Not just me, everybody around me as well. Right, 1964. Cheers, Philip. Hope you have a good one. 1964 opened with more Marlet 2 flights. Early in the program, it became policy to conduct a few launch series at the beginning of each year. This served several purposes. Primarily, it allowed multiple datasets to be obtained over a fixed site at a fixed time of year. This made it possible to compare the progressive weather conditions over many years. It was also not lost on the HARP staff that Barbados was somewhat more pleasant in the months of January than up north in Canada. The Marlet 2 quickly became the workhorse of the program and proved itself by carrying many diverse payloads. The Marlet 2 could be launched for a cost of about $3,000 each, at intervals of less than an hour. Over the length of the HARP program, some 200 Marlet 2s would be launched, making it as one of the most successful suborbital vehicles ever developed. So I probably drink 6 liters of water a day on a recording day. So, yeah. Too much. My bladder does not like that. Impressed by the results of the HARP program, the US Army soon agreed to increase their annual funding from $250,000 to $1.5 million per year. The Canadian government was still not funding HARP in any significant manner, but at least McGill was assured that their initial startup loan was repaid. By March of 1964, the Canadian government had come to terms with the US Army. Joint funding of $3 million per year was agreed upon. It was decided that the US Army's payments were to go through to the Canadian government, which formally contracted McGill University to administer the program. But HARP's financing worries were far from over. McGill University was forced to once again fund HARP until the administrative concerns were addressed and the Canadian funding was available. Almost immediately, HARP's opponents in Ottawa set to work to sabotage the operation again. The funding for the fiscal period of July 1964 to June 1965 was greatly delayed. The universities advanced the project some $500,000 to continue operations. The Canadian government did not release the project's funds, including the US Army's share, for some 10 months into the fiscal year. This was to be a pattern of bureaucratic sabotage that would plague the program to its end. That's awesome, tell them. To its end. A major factor was to shape the future operations of HARP was that the US Army was losing its battle to dominate space operations. As a result, they were soon forbidden to conduct launches above 100 kilometers. This resulted in restrictions in the HARP funding formula. Subsequently, all funding for HARP's orbital program had come from the Canadian portion of funding only. Funding concerns slowed many of HARP's research and development programs. Even though they proceeded as smoothly as events permitted, many aspects of the project, including the orbital program, suffered unnecessarily. Much of the HARP's research at this time was focused on fundamental research and development. Even though constrained, much was learned about the interactions of the HARP gun system and their vehicles. One of the most significant events of the year was the opening of the high water test range. It was recognized early in the program that it would be advantageous to have a second launch site near McGill University, where basic research could be conducted. Ideas could be then tested, swiftly without the need to travel all the way to Barbados. A suitable site was found near the Canadian-US border, which just happened to be owned by Boole's extended family. Good evening, Buggy Boos. Hope you're doing well. The high water test range quickly became as important to HARP as the Barbados launch site, and a second 16-inch gun system was installed. The high water gun was used for horizontal test flights only and could not be elevated higher than 10 degrees. The 16-inch horizontal gun range was some 1,000 meters long. It allowed new vehicles and systems to be tested under gun loads and in free flight while being monitored by a myriad of instruments. This range was also used for testing smaller gun systems and launch vehicles. The high water test site also had a distinction of being the only inland high-altitude flight range in Canada. It was not long after the high water site opened. It was not long after the high water site opened that high-altitude test flights with the 5-inch BRL guns began. These flights carried payloads to altitudes of over 70 kilometers and focused on measuring the upper atmospheric conditions. The workshops of the high water range became the project's primary construction facility. Experimental components and vehicles could be produced and tested at high water in short order. It is notable that the inconsistent It is notable that the inconsistency. It is notable that the inconstancy of the HARP program's funding required a level of improvisation rarely seen in the world-class space program. Much of the credit for the project's technical achievements was due to the ingenuity and expertise of HARP's engineers and craftsmen. In 1964, also saw the first attempts to improve the overall performance of the 16-inch gun system. The primary mechanical method selected to improve the performance of the 16-inch gun system was to lengthen the barrel. A few years earlier, Burrell had lengthened the standard military gun barrel by welding a second section of barrel to the muzzle of the first. Tests of the 5-inch gun demonstrated a higher muzzle velocity for a given vehicle. This was due to the simple fact that the longer the barrel... Good evening, Brian Wells. I hope you're doing well. Better late than never. We were busy reading about the HARP gun. Well, I'm reading. Everybody's listening. We're all learning, though. All right. This was due to the simple fact that the longer barrel allowed for the propellant gases to push on the projectile for a longer time period of time. Thank you for becoming a member, Brian. It's much appreciated. Resulting in a higher velocity at muzzle exit. This resulted in a corresponding increase in the maximum altitude a given vehicle could achieve. This exact same concept was to be applied to the 16-inch gun in Barbados. The first attempt to extend the 16-inch gun was made in September of 1964, when a 10 calibers extension was added to the gun. To install this extension, a flange was first welded onto the muzzle of the 16-inch gun barrel. Then a bracket was welded several feet down from the muzzle to allow for the attachment of stiffening bars. The barrel extension was equipped Sin cringe, don't worry about it. All memberships are appreciated, but they are not mandatory. If you can't afford it, that's fine. No worries. This content's free. You can enjoy it. Those who can afford it, great. Those who can't afford it, enjoy. Well, congratulations on your birthday, Brian. Good evening, DeSoda. Hope you're doing well. The barrel extension was equipped with its own flange and had stiffening bar bracket of about 2 to 3, 2/4, 2/3. And it's much appreciated, Herder. Much appreciated. But I do know that those ads can get tiring. A bar bracket about 2/3 the way up of its length. The extension was installed by bolting the two flanges together and then attaching a stiffening bars to both brackets. These stiffening bars were adjustable to allow an accurate barrel alignment to be maintained. This technique proved itself with corresponding increases in velocity and altitude being recorded during test flights. It was not a surprise that this improved extension did not last long. In December, on the 11th test shot, the extension failed. Still, this experiment proved that it was practical to extend a gun of this size. Plans were laid for a new extension that would nearly double the length of the 16-inch gun to 86 calibers, or an erroneous 120 feet long. This is strange. We're using metric and imperial. He's been using metric all the way up until this point, where now we're using imperial. Yeah. Feet. 1965. The year opened with the extension of the 16-inch Barbados gun. The first task was to enlarge the gun pit to accommodate the larger gun and its associated equipment. With this accomplished, a permanent barrel extension, made by modifying a second 16-inch gun barrel, was welded onto the muzzle of the existing gun. Yeah, the US Army definitely got to him. At 120 feet long and nearly 100 tons, it was recognized that without additional support, the new gun had no hope of maintaining a precision bore alignment, even elevated to vertical for firing. Some 25 tons of weldments were added to the two-barrel assembly to stiffen it. 8 adjustable drawbars were also installed so that the gun could be aligned at any angle of elevation. This extension made the 16-inch Barbados gun the largest operational artillery piece in the world at the time. In mid-1965, the HARP project was in full swing, and the big 16-inch gun on Barbados was making regular firings. 5-inch and 7-inch HARP guns were conducting launches in places as diverse as Alaska, Wallops Island in Virginia, High Water, Quebec, and Barbados. Progress on all technical programs was advancing significantly, despite funding problems. Volumes of scientific data were being collected from all aspects of the program. The new high water site also progressing by leaps and bounds. The expansive 2,000-acre site was becoming a major operational center for HARP, with small gun firings occurring regularly. Throughout the year, plans for installing a new 16-inch gun in high water were progressing smoothly. By November, the gun was in place, and test firings commenced soon after. This gun only fired horizontally, with vehicles impacting into the mineshaft dug into a hill on the far side of the valley, some 1,000 meters downrange. The high water gun was primarily used to test the performance of vehicles inside of the gun and in free flight during the critical muzzle exit and sabot separation phases. I don't know whether that's a good zzz or a bad zzz. If you want to go... We're about halfway through. Shouldn't take too much longer. Then we can go kill zombies or something. The new high water site was also progressing by leaps and bounds. The expansive 2,000... No, I read that. Yeah, read that. This 16-inch high water gun was soon extended in a similar manner to the Barbados gun, although instead of massive weldments to maintain alignment, it used a series of steel supports, looking somewhat like a suspension bridge, where... I'm not sure, Herder. I'm not sure. I mean, it could be a good zzz, could be a bad zzz. I don't know. I'm going to look on the bright side and think that it's a good zzz. Later, this gun would be given a third extension, stretching it out to L126 calibers, or an incredible 176 feet long. There's an exclamation mark there, you need to be excited. The high water gun still holds the record as the longest big bore artillery piece in the world. Nowhere in the world at any time before or since has there been such a massive gun-based development program as this in private hands. The University of McGill reveled in the prestige of this world-class facility. Even with the great technical advances made by HARP in 1965 was all not well behind the scenes. Back in Ottawa, the bureaucracy continued to snipe at HARP. The promised Canadian funding was again delayed for 10 months into the fiscal year, with McGill once again providing advances to HARP to maintain operations. Development projects such as the Marlet 4 were delayed. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army was beginning to be drawn more and more into a conflict in Vietnam. The Army's attention and their funding was being diverted elsewhere. Very true. Don't really see exclamation marks in technical-ish documents. Bernard, I have narrated a couple on the horror channel. If it's well written and it's been edited by a human, I don't necessarily have a problem, as long as it is somebody say it has been generated by AI, edited by human. (1966). By the start of 1966, the enemies of the HARP program were hard at work behind the scenes, trying to sabotage it. Rumors indicated that the Canadian government was preparing to pull the plug on the program. J.L. Orr had sent a damning report to Ottawa, unfairly criticizing the HARP project. He suggested that HARP's funding should be allocated to other programs. One of the true heroes of the HARP project at the time was Donald Modell. Gary Bull gets most of his credit for the technical success of HARP, but if it were not for Donald Modell's extensive lobbying, the project would have succumbed to bureaucratic pressures far earlier. He mounted a constant defense of HARP in private, in government circles, and in the press. Much of the political goodwill that HARP received at the time was due to his diligent effort. Modell convinced many of the great potentials of HARP, and the project shared many supporters in the press and in public. One of the chief arguments of the media supporters of HARP was that its cancellation would once again default a major project's technology to the Americans, as with the Avro Arrow fighter, Canada would lose world-class, homegrown technology. 1966 progressed as well as could be expected, with high-altitude launches proceeding throughout the first half of the year. However, the bureaucratic strain of the HARP's program was taking its toll. Programs such as the Marlet 4 orbital vehicle suffered gravely, particularly when the project was forced to lay off important personnel in April due to funding delays. The turmoil on the Canadian side of the border did not escape HARP's American partners. In anticipation of future problems, it was decided that the 16-inch gun sight was needed on American soil. This would make the U.S. involvement completely independent from the Canadian bureaucracy and McGill's Barbados launch site. The third and final 16-inch gun of the HARP program was installed at the Yuma Proving Grounds in Arizona. This gun was practically identical to the Barbados gun, although it did sport several improvements as a result of lessons learned during the construction of the Barbados gun system. Unfortunately, the Yuma gun enjoyed only a short operational life, with only a few launch series being conducted there. The Yuma gun's sole claim to fame was that on November 18, 1966, it lofted the Marlet 2 vehicle to a world record altitude of 180 kilometers, which still stands today. I'm sure my vocal cords would weep with joy, with whiskey and honey. Cannon to the moon, right in the eye. Good evening, Randy. Hope you're doing well. The extensive efforts by the HARP staff to defend the program from its critics were slowly overcome by the bureaucratic pressure being exerted against it. In November of 1966, the Canadian government announced that there would be no further Canadian funding for the HARP project after June 30th, 1967. HARP's critics had demanded that the project's funding should be cancelled immediately. They rallied against even the small extension. It was decided that HARP would be sacrificed. In its place, the funding would go to a new Alouette satellite, the Fort Churchill, Manitoba rocket range, and the new Black Brant sounding rocket. These few extra months of life did not come without a price. As a last-ditch effort to save the program, a desperate and devious plan was hatched. In exchange for a few extra months of funding, Gary Bull personally guaranteed that by the end of June 1967, HARP would be financially self-sufficient and no longer require Canadian government assistance. Bull's guarantees was a long shot, but it did solve problems in all quarters. Foremost, this action took the responsibility for the political failure of the program off the soldiers. Foremost, this action could take the responsibility for the potential failure of the program off the shoulders of the Canadian government and placed it squarely in Gary Bull. For this small reprieve, the Canadian government could claim to have saved face. For the project, it meant that big changes had to be made. Suborbital research flights did not provide enough income to finance a continuing project. It was necessary to orbit a satellite, any satellite, no matter how small, to prove that it could be done and encourage further investments in the orbital programs. The Canadian decision had an immediate and unexpected effect on the U.S. support of HARP as well. With the war in Vietnam raging and the Army's loss of space operations to the U.S. Air Force, the Canadian bailout was used as an excuse by the Pentagon to order the U.S. Army to pull out of HARP. So abrupt and unexpected was this decision that a series of test launches being conducted at Yuma were halted in the middle of operation. There was no opportunity to even analyze the data that had already been collected. HARP was in a precarious situation without financial support. The operations of the project quickly crumbled. All active research projects came to a screeching halt. The gun sites at Barbados and high water were effectively shut down. All but a caretaker staff had to be laid off. Determined to save the essence of the program, Jerry Bull and a small group of engineers and technicians worked frantically to develop one mechanism they believed could keep the dream alive: a satellite launch vehicle. A satellite launcher was desperately needed, but the Marlet 4 program was hopelessly behind schedule. It would have been impractical to try and complete the Marlet. We've got some photos. There's a Mega Chad there, swinging the biggest gun around in history. I think we can call him a Mega Chad, you know. Not only was 176 feet, that is a big cannon. The Marlet fan. Do you think they launched her? Just joke. It's a joke. But she's in the picture. So you think she's one of the missiles that they launched? Do you think they needed a sabot for that? Circus style. I think if she had a helmet on, the helmet would be wearing her by the time she got out the end. Okay. So, what is it? I would say she's probably like average height for what, 5'5", 5'6". So those are some big rockets, especially this bad boy over here. You can't see my cursor. Can't you see my cursor? Because it's a white cursor on a grey background. Okay. This one's a big boy. Definitely going to sting if it hits you. Cool. Marlet 1. Looks like the rockets they used to have in the old black and white movies. Like Space Invaders. Or invaders from space rather than Space Invaders. That is a big fucking gun. So this is the... Doesn't say which one this is. I'm guessing this is the one in Barbados. No. Right hull. Because this is not vertical, this is horizontal, so it would have to be the right hull one. Okay. Who do you think Marlet 2 is? Do you think it's this one? It's the daughter of the First Lady? Or do you think it's this missile thing over here? Just keep having daughters, and it's like Marlet the second, Marlet the third. Okay. 2G. So now they've built basic internet connection into her head. Is that what that means? Beating Elon Musk with the interface. Okay. That's a person. Don't know what you can see it. Let's just zoom in. Yes. I just want to go down. Okay. Can you see the person? There's a person sitting there. Just to show you how big it is. It's quite large. And then we have some technical specs. Pointy end, outwards, non-pointy end, not outwards. A very interesting grey ghost. Very interesting. Okay. That one spins. Iraq gun. What is this called? Yeah. Babylon gun. Cool. Awesome. We all learned something. We had a nice reading. Hope everybody enjoyed. Missiles. Or woman. I think we're at the end of the royalty-free music. Pretty sure it's been the same track playing over and over again for the last 20 minutes. But it's lo-fi, so I couldn't. Cool. Pew. It is gone. Yes. War Thunder. I love the fact that War Thunder and what was the other one? There's another one, but the tank one? Whichever. I think that's War Thunder. They keep getting confidential stuff leaked on there. That they have connections in the military in all countries so that they can sort it out when it happens again. Well, F-up, I'm sure you could use the what is it, the low altitude satellites that they're using for Starlink and its competitors. Well, the tanks, that's the one I was thinking of. Right. Now back to poker. Seems a lot less fulfilling than before. Look, it's internet arguments and people just going to the extremes for internet arguments. Yeah, not proper poker though. Not gambling poker. This is whatever the hell this is. This was in the background the whole time. This is why we went back to it. Good morning, Acrapheus. Acrapheus. Here we go. Fair enough. Fair enough. But, to be honest, poker is easier on my voice than reading articles at the moment. Don't worry, didn't push it. Probably pushed the upper limit of my voice. But I don't think I've done anything too bad. It needs to be strengthened. So, more liquid. ASMR time. No. I don't think so. ASMR is not really my thing. Also, it's not really the right microphone for it. Those microphones they use are stereo mics, which are pretty interesting in their own way. Heavily directional stereo mics. Because, for some reason, this mic, which is the Shure SM7B, with, yes, that is camo tape on my microphone, just to make it stealthy. So you can get the smooth voice. My microphone's all stealthy and stuff. So this microphone is a mono microphone, so it only comes through as one channel. And then for the production of the videos, and for OBS and stuff, I have to set it to duplicate the duplicate the input so that it comes through left and right. That's why sometimes in the videos it comes through in mono. It's when I forget to hit the button to make it stereo. Arctic counter. It's not really gonna, I suppose, could work. I don't know. We were in the building place. We call it Houses Builders Warehouse. And we needed some duct tape for something, and I saw the camo duct tape. I'm like, okay, we're having that. Problem is, it was a shit duct tape. It was really not a great duct tape. It splits. You've got the mesh and the back, yeah, whatever the color is. And then there's the mesh and sticky stuff. And this one separated quite easily. I don't know whether it was old or just the batch. Oh, I just thought of something. Oh, shut up. I'm talking. So here I am, I'm playing poker. So I could go to Kick now and make millions of monies playing poker. It was a joke. I'm not going to Kick. Oh, we can buy new cards from the shops. Okay. Okay, increases our multiplier. Sure. This is one of 150 jokers. That's 3 times. Well, not quite, but 3 times the size of a deck. You add all these jokers, you're going to have a deck of 204 cards. 2 cards. And that's suspicious. This one adds 4 model. Be picky. You can only carry 5 joker cards at a time. Okay. Still a bit ridiculous. That's 10% of the deck. Now about this other card I'm going to show. Yeah. Right. Oh, tarot card. We're just going to insert random tarot cards into our poker deck. Just hope nobody notices. Oh, it's a consumable, but still. just ignore the tarot cards in my deck of cards. Yep. Yeah, you can carry 2 consumable cards at you at a time. Okay. If you save enough, you can buy a voucher. Vouchers passively upgrade your run. Right. What does this do? Do we have enough money? Permanently gain +1 hand per round. So now we're going to get 9 cards. Okay. We can't afford it. Got $2. Okay, we have to defeat a boss to get this. Oh, and we've got loot boxes. Disguised as card packs. Well, to be honest, Magic the Gathering's booster packs were loot boxes before loot boxes were a thing. Booster packs, yep. They're full of goodies. I'm sure there are. Thankfully, this isn't, at least I hope there's no microtransactions. It's like, I play the ace of spades, a mountain, and a tarot card, and I have a flush. This sounds like you've accidentally mixed several decks of cards together, and you're not just like, feck it, I'm too lazy to sort it out. We'll make up the rules as we go. No, it's not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing this game. It is in-game dollars. Let's shrink that a bit. Move it over. There we go. Next round. Blah, 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 blah. Selecting the big blind will earn you some cash. Or choose to skip it and get a tag. Each tag has a unique effect. But keep an eye on the boost, the boss. Keep calling it different things. The Bosman. Blind. It has an ability you'll need to plan around. Okay. Okay, discards 2 cards at random per hand played. Okay. Sure. I can see that. Oh, it's getting hell. Excuse me. That came out of nowhere. Okay, so we lose 2 of the cards we play. Bernard, I have not played Helldivers. The new one I probably will never play because it is kernel level anti-cheat. I do need to check whether the first one has kernel level anti-cheat. If it doesn't, then I might play it. I just, in general, refuse to install any program that has kernel level access other than an operating system. Okay. If you beat it, then the ante goes up and all blinds become harder. Beat ante 5 to win. Now choose your game. Okay. Okay, so new round. Cool. Yep, easy anti-cheat. So any game you see with easy anti-cheat is kernel level access to your machine. There is another one that has kernel level access. Can't remember the name offhand. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Ev Up. When you get more cards, remember you can rearrange the Joker's trigger in order from left to right. Cool. Yeah, well. The problem is it hasn't stopped anybody cheating. All the games that use anti-cheat still have cheaters. But easy anti-cheat. So it doesn't really work. And just imagine this. One day, maybe not today, maybe not this week, but one day, someone is going to hack that anti-cheat. And then they will have kernel level access to every machine, every machine that has it installed. Now that is scary. I haven't seen. I want to watch Godzilla 0 Day 01, whatever it was called. I think Denuvo also is. Let me just double check. Does Denuvo anti-cheat have kernel access? Yes, Denuvo is right. It also has kernel level access. Not a problem, Buggy Boobs. We'll see you later. I don't get out to watch movies often. I actually haven't been to the cinema in over a decade. I don't get time to watch videos either, normally. What does it do? Enhances the 2 selected cards multiplier. Okay. I think, personally, that games as an online service is the most stupid concept on the planet. Unless it's an MMO. MMOs are fine. Single-player games, let me play it on my computer. Let me play it without an internet connection. And let me play it without kernel-level access. If I'm playing a single-player game, I don't care if I cheat. You shouldn't care if I cheat. Because the only person I'm cheating then is myself. But this concept of games as a service is daft. Look, I mean, giving your operating system access to your kernel is kind of the point of an operating system. But that is what it is. I mean, if you're really security conscious, you're running Linux, one of the versions of Linux with VM machines and all of that stuff. I'm too lazy to do all of that. So I just do what I can to keep my computer. Those two and that. Use. Okay. So we need to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Blech. Okay. Jack, Queen. Thank you, John McMeth. Glad that you are enjoying the content. All right. Celestial pack. Choose. Okay. What do we have? We got consumable. Oh, okay. And then Uranus. Or we can get a voucher. Permanently gain +1 hand per round. We don't have $10. Okay. I think that's going to be the choice is going for this passive. Next round. Beat the boss. Right. Good evening, Sir Cringe. Sing Cringe. Hope you have a good one. I don't think I'll be on for too much longer. We're at 2.5 hours. Probably another 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then we'll call it. That would be 3 hours of streaming and, what was it, 45 minutes of narration stuff. Which, by the way, it's not really my full narration. So that's just one voice, my voice. Which is the, starting bar of what my voice needs to do for narration. Good evening, Tanperk. Hope you're doing well. Right, what do we want? We've got King, Queen, Jack, 9. 6, 5, 4, 4. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Well, the big test will be tomorrow. So what I've found is I can push my voice as hard as I want in any given day. And it'll do mostly what I want it to do. The next day, however, that's when the inflammation sticks in. And that's when you're most likely to get laryngitis or whatever. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Excitement. You could wake up sounding like a frog. Ribbit. Whatever. But it was fun. I regret nothing. That didn't work. We do get 4 of a kind. Definitely trying. Did we win? We won! Yay! No, where's my voucher? An extra discard. Do we really want an extra discard? I don't think it really helps at the moment. I'm a long way away from Morgan Freeman, both physically and in voice. But I'm glad you liked it. These are consumables. Or we can get a card. I think we're going to open one of these. What do we have? Excitement. Are we ready? What the hell is this? That is very true, AVUP. That's why you need to keep up with your security updates, if you can. Or you go for the security through obscurity. What do we got here? 6 of spades plus 6 chips. $3 if this card is held in hand at the end of the round. 9 chips. 11 chips plus 30 extra chips. That sounds good. That gives me more monies. That gives me more chips. And we got that one. Pew. Ooh. Okay. What do we have here? 10 chips, 2 times multiplier, 1 in 4 chance to destroy the card. That doesn't sound good. It re-triggers the card once, so we get 8 chips. And then, ooh, a foil. Yeah, we'll take that one. Right. We need to get 800 chips. I'm sure we can do this. And we've got 4. We've got 3 of a kind. That's definitely asking to be 444. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, we could go for a flush. Or not. Full house. This game at least takes the one requirement of not needing to pay that much attention. To do 10. I think we'll keep those. So we discard these. That's okay. Yay! Uh, 9965422. So I'm going to discard those. And full house. 7s over 9s. Is that right? Exciting stuff. I think we got to the 800 chips pretty easily. One interest per $5. Yeah. What do we have here? Permanently gain 1 discard per round. Joker. Plus 12 multiplier. Played in hand. Contains a straight. It's open. Dun dun dun. What do we have? A normal card. Do you think it's just slipping these extra cards in? So if you put more 7s of hearts, I'll have 2. You think it's that way? I don't think it's that way. Creates a planet card if this card is held in your hand at end of round. Insane Crazy Man, hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. We will be back in the full swing of things within a couple of weeks. Until then, we are shooting the shit and playing some games. Yeah, don't worry. I don't think I pushed it too bad tonight. We'll see tomorrow. If so, then tomorrow's stream is going to be shorter than usual. But the only way you find out where your limits are is by pushing it. I don't know what a planet card is. That's interesting. We'll do that. Dun dun dun. Find 10's multiplier. And this one is... Oh, okay. So this isn't a 7 of spades, it's a 7 of whatever you want. That's interesting. I think we'll go with that one. Right. Next round. Dun dun dun. 5-5. Jack jack. So we'll discard everything else. That sucks. We'll go with that. Two of a kind. 2 pairs. Oh, it's that special one we got. Awesome. And now we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 3s. 2, 3, 4, 6. Then we'll discard everything that isn't those. Alright, yep. That didn't help. Although that's any suit. Interesting. Oh, that was the wrong button. That was very much the wrong button. Oh, we got the mega ace. King, queen. Ah, interesting. Full house. Okay. So this idea sounded interesting at the beginning. I use that term loosely. And yeah, it is interesting. But it's just poker. And I'm not sure how exciting poker is to stream. But we do have a visitor. Let's have a visitor. Oh, yeah. Poochie. Honey, boy. Oh, you boy. Here we go. He wandered in to say hello. Yeah, yes. Make a face. Say hello. Look over there, the camera. No, my face. There you go. Go chase the cat or something. There you go. Doggo visit of the evening. Boy dog. Yep. Debuff. Well, probably should have paid attention. That's fine. We'll discard those. And go with these, I think. Nope. Go with these. That's interesting. Wait, I just saw a thing. No. And there we go. No, that's showing statistics. So that'll give me 9 points. But that'll give me 20 points. Okay, that makes things a little bit more interesting. So, to earn more points there, playing the 2 10s would have been more appropriate. So instead of getting 9 points, we would have got 20. So it doesn't matter whether you got a full house or a flush or whatever, as long as the points add up to something higher. It's very interesting. Actually, I don't know how interesting that is. It is something. King, Queen, Jack, 9. No, that didn't work. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to stream this game ever again. I mean, it's helping me fall asleep, which I'm sure is also helping you guys fall asleep. But I don't think that's what it was meant for. Oh, 8, 7. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Play hand. But I also think that reading the narration took a bit out of me, took a lot out of me. Such is the nature of the job. Voucher. That one seems nice. And then we'll open up a Celestial pack, yes. Level up full house, okay. Okay, so this is gonna multiply the different combinations, which could make it worth more. Instead of going with just pure card value, you could go with the higher hand. Or something. Full house, sure. Let's go with that one. We'll open that one. Spectral pack. Why are we playing cards? Converts all cards in hand to a single random suit. Creates that one. Use. Okay, I have no idea what that did. Alright. Probably want to do that first. Oh, yeah, and then that. Yeah. 8866. I wonder if I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because this says every played card counts in scoring. It doesn't say how. Okay, so I can just play random cards as long as the score's high enough. Ooh, we got an 8. Game over. Main menu. Let's upgrade to the big me. Hello? What happened? Why am I not here? Hello? That is very odd. And now that's not working. For some odd reason. Okay, I think that is going to be me for the evening. That has been a 3-hour stream. Well, 2 hours and 56 minutes. So, the last couple minutes of the 3-hour stream, we'll sit and chat. I was going to upgrade us to the bigger version of me. But it's not working. Nope. Nope. It's me. So this is not working. That is very weird. We'll go with the scratch leg. We'll go with that one. Okay, there we go. Full screen chat. Full screen. The broadcast link decided that it was going to work on the small picture. It was going to work on the big picture. Wait. Dr. Dalek Hunter, which series is that? Well, which source story was that? Oh, the Diamond, yeah. I think I did a couple. I do remember the author's name, and it does ring a bell. I thought it would be an interesting game. not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. So we'll probably play something else tomorrow. Unless somebody drops another a wiki on us and we read the other random wiki about something. But that all ultimately depends on how the voice goes. But that will only be answered tomorrow. Right. Nice chill couple minutes. Okay. And you, are we working now? No. It just said, nah, not doing it. It's fine. You probably have to reboot my PC. Anyway, that's an off-stream problem to sort out. Go away. No, I think it'll probably be another week and a half before we start doing stories. But it all depends, you know. I mean, tomorrow my voice, I can wake up and it'll be perfect, and then I know I can do a 45-minute narration with single voice, with my normal voice, my narration voice. So that would be a good thing. That sucks, Brian. I know 7 days a week it's rough. It's my pleasure, Dr. Dalek Hunter. But I mean, it's been a decent night. We had hit a peak of like 60 people watching. I think we lost a lot of people on the non-fiction HARP gun. Fair enough, Brian, fair enough. You know, getting rid of debt is not easy, but it is worth it. Okay, we've hit the 3-hour mark. Yassine Tibbin, good evening, hope you're doing well. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. So whatever time is now, 3 hours before then tomorrow. That's when we will start again. And then we might do another 3-hour stream. We'll see how the voice is going. I've seen the spin launch thing. See, the difference between the HARP gun is it's old, and there's been a lot of stuff written about it. But the spin launch thing falls into the venture capitalist, when you want IPO bullshit that happens these days, where it's just 100% hype until they actually do something. So, we'll see how. We'll see. They've been trying to figure out a new method for a very long time. But they've yet to succeed. I mean, if they do, that's great. I'm personally more interested in consumer-level salt-based batteries. That's going to be a game changer. Or the mono. I was watching a thing. It was a new type of capacitor that they're developing now, which will also be pretty cool. And then also another type of battery, a mono-element battery. So, I mean, those things will definitely change the world. F up. I'm pretty sure that eventually my genre, which will just be chatting, because I've been thinking about streaming my recording process. So it'll be daily stream of me recording the videos. So that is a possibility. We'll see how things go. Okay. We'll see you all tomorrow. Sounds very cool. I might look it up later. And that is us. Still haven't come up with an intro, other than saying thank you all for watching. I hope that I at least provided some entertainment and helped time go past during whatever task you're busy with. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.